I was numb. I left my vet's office in a daze, and I have no idea how I got home that day. I stayed in bed for about 3 days. I couldn't go to work. I couldn't stop crying. And there were times when I literally thought I would lose my mind. Hi, everyone. I'm Hindi from Grey Paws and All. And this is the story of my first experience with pet loss. And I urge you to watch the entire video because I also talk about the importance of knowing what to expect. So this happened with my first pet. She was a cat named Calypso. I rescued her from a garbage bag in Israel when she was about 3 weeks old, and I lived every moment with her for 17 years. Now, I never wanted to talk about or think about what would happen when I wasn't with her anymore. I couldn't even stand the thought. So I didn't. She was also feral, so taking her to the vet was very difficult. Obviously, I did. But when she started eating less and less, obviously it was kidney disease. So that much I knew. On that day when I took her to the vet, I was crying hysterically because she would barely eat a spoon of food. And I called my vet in a panic. It was a weekend. They're open on the weekends, thank goodness. It was my birthday. And he's like, bring her in during my lunch hour. Needless to say, I had to say goodbye to her then. Her blood tests for kidneys were just off the charts bad. So I was in a daze. I literally felt like I was outside my body. I had no idea what to expect. She was my first animal, and I had no idea what was involved with saying goodbye. Not a clue. I'm standing there crying hysterically. And my vet is the nicest man you could ever imagine, but I don't know. I don't think and he was very, very sensitive, but he put down this piece of paper with the words euthanasia at the top. I don't know what that was. I don't know how they do it, what it means. I signed it. Then he gives me a catalog of urns. Not a clue. The only thing I knew was that obviously I wanted her to come back to me, whatever that meant. So it turns out that meant private cremation. Anyway, I was pretty much on the floor in hysterics, and he couldn't have been nicer, but then I left. I'm like, now what? I had just been through the most horrific experience. I didn't know what to expect because I never wanted to think about it or ask about it. And then I somehow found a taxi and I made my way home, and then I stayed in bed for 3 days and cried. I couldn't go to work. I didn't know about pet support or going to speak to someone about it. So the whole point of this video, I want to keep it as short as I can, is now I've been through this so many times since, unfortunately, but fortunately that I've been able to share my life with so many amazing dogs and cats. But I cannot emphasize enough the importance of knowing what's going on. You don't want to talk about it, you don't want to think about it, but the worst thing is to end up at your vet's office and you make a mistake. For example, you're in such a state, you're like, oh my God, I can't, yeah, just take him. And then they cremate him with a bunch of other animals or do I don't know what. And you regret that decision and you can't take it back. So spend a moment, think about, do you want to take your whatever animal you share your life with, do you want to take them to the vet and have them put to sleep there? Do you want to have someone come to your house to do it? Who would you like to be there if there's time to arrange that? What does it mean to bury an animal, to cremate them? Do you want their ashes back? Do you mind if they're cremated together and you don't need their ashes back? Do you want a beautiful urn or just like a scatter? I can't remember what they're called, scatter or something or other, which is not expensive, but your ashes are there. You don't have to dwell on it. And again, like, you, as much as you prepare, things happen, emergencies happen, things change, and it won't always be exactly how you imagined, but at the very least, you need to understand, what does euthanasia mean? What is the process? How do they put your animal to sleep? Do you want to be there, or can you not handle it? What can you expect will happen? Do they give them something to help them relax? Does it happen quickly? I mean, all these questions, literally, I knew nothing until I was faced with that paper. And even then, I didn't know anything. So I don't want you to end up like I was. Thankfully, I made the right decision to get her back. But in my state, I could have easily made the wrong one. So just again, please take a moment to speak to your vet, understand the process, and think about the things I mentioned, because it will make it's not an easy process. It's hell. It is. It's devastating. But being as prepared as you can be and having as much knowledge as you can will help make this process just a little bit easier. If you've had this experience, if you've had a similar experience to mine, how did it go? What did you learn? Have you had to go through this again? And what did you take away this time? And what would you like to share with this community that will help them when the time comes? Thank you so much for watching until the end, and I look forward to seeing you in another video.